Queen Latifah is gonna be the new Equalizer. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. ISIS, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. I just got a chance to take a look at the trailer for CBS's new reboot of The Equalizer, starring Queen Latifah. And to paraphrase Galvatron from Transformers the movie, this isn't an action TV series, this is just bad comedy. And some executive is having a hearty laugh at Queen Latifah's expense as she tries to go out here and play an action hero in a role she's just not suited for. Now, this reboot of The Equalizer appears to be another one of these SJW diversity initiatives in an effort to try to get some so-called representation as related to black women being heroines. And just like the previous show that got canceled, LA's Finest on Fox, it looks like this version of The Equalizer is trying to take some faded former black actress and try to turn her into some tough, grizzled action hero. Unfortunately, CBS fails miserably in this relaunch because your Queen Latifah clearly just is not suited for this kind of role. And as Queen Latifah stumbles throughout this trailer, it is just embarrassing to watch because we clearly see that in their attempt to promote so-called diversity and inclusion passively by having Queen Latifah represent a so-called strong black heroine, all she does is aggressively promote old racist stereotypes about black women, the same stereotypes we saw presented in the upcoming No Time to Die featuring Lashondra Lynch. Now, just like Lashondra Lynch in No Time to Die, your Queen Latifah's Equalizer is being presented as a masculine acting black woman, and that fits right in line with what your white supremacists in Hollywood want to do as related to the black female image. They do not want us to see a soft, feminine black woman, and they don't want us to see a black woman out here being sexy and attractive. So what they go out here and do is find the most masculine looking black woman in order to promote the idea that the black woman is not an ideal for a standard of beauty. And as they're doing this, they have a good hearty laugh, I believe, behind the scenes at your Queen Latifah's expense as she struggles to do these choreographed fight scenes and she comes across as extremely awkward. I haven't seen fight scenes this bad since 2004's Catwoman featuring Halle Berry, and I dare to say that the fight scenes in The Equalizer are actually worse than the scenes in 2004's Catwoman because your Queen Latifah, she's coming across like Rudy Ray Moore in Dolomite when it comes down to her doing karate. And unlike Rudy Ray Moore, who was doing this for a gag, your Queen Latifah is very serious about the karate she's doing. And when she does it, again, it just reminds me of that scene where Dolomite runs into the drug dealers and they find the drugs, and not the drug dealers, but the FBI guys, and they find the drugs and the furs in his car, and he does the karate on those guys and knocks one of the guys in the trunk of the El Dorado. That's what your Queen Latifah as the Equalizer reminds me of, she's just like watching Dolomite in action. Sadly, this is not a comedy, it's a drama, supposed to be a drama, but it comes across as some of the funniest things you'll ever see. And even funnier than that is the sequence when your Queen Latifah is out here running away from an explosion. And this one was just embarrassing to watch because here we have this black female who's supposed to be presented as this so-called tough chick who can solve problems and go out here and get justice when justice can't be served. And she's so big, fat, and out of shape that she's huffing and puffing as she's running away from the explosion. And this is, again, it's just like watching, as Galvatron said, bad comedy. And it's just painful to watch Queen Latifah presented in this fashion. I mean, when I was watching this Equalizer trailer, I was just embarrassed for Queen Latifah because this whole trailer just showed me how these efforts to promote so-called diversity and inclusion, they aren't really looking like efforts to promote diversity and inclusion. It's looking like they're trying to get a laugh at the black woman's expense, because when I look at the pattern of LA's Finest, Batwoman, and this show, I see a pattern as related to trying to degrade the image of the black woman aggressively while passively going out here and telling the black woman that she's about to be represented in the action movie genre. I can see how your racist Hollywood is out here insulting the black woman with these shows like LA's Finest, like Batwoman, and like this just plain hilarious Equalizer, because there's nothing equal about this show in its efforts to promote so-called diversity. Now, in the original Equalizer TV show, it was a white guy who was shown to have different types of skills in the 80s, and in the Denzel Washington film, they also show us a black man who is competent in showing his skills and his experience. But in this one, we get this Queen Latifah shown as this double tough woman, but we don't believe she's double tough, and we don't believe she's experienced. Instead, she just comes across as really awkward and really forced, and the whole sequence just comes across as complete unintentional bad comedy. And sadly, I believe your Queen Latifah, like the Emperor who had no clothes, doesn't really see the joke being played on her, and she doesn't see how these Hollywood executives who talk about how woke they are really just sitting here taking shots at her behind the scenes. Because when it comes down to these people in Hollywood who talk about how woke they are, it seems like they are extremely racist, and they don't take a minute to enjoy having a laugh at a black person's expense. And this one really is set up like one big joke, and sadly, your Queen Latifah can't see how she's the punchline of that joke. And even more embarrassing is how your CBS is sitting there going to premiere this show after the Super Bowl, because they're thinking this show is going to be a hit, but I know this show is going to be an expletive, which I'm not going to use in this video, and a big brown expletive that I'm not going to mention in this video. But your Queen Latifah, she doesn't see how these Hollywood executives are saying that she's masculine and making mockery of her. And when I look at this action sequences, again, they show how Queen Latifah is just not trained for them and not ready for them. And I really couldn't believe Queen Latifah as an equalizer. I mean, she could not they had her in a fight sequence with different guys, and most women are 8 times weaker in their upper body than a man, and they don't have that coordination like a man in a lot of cases. So when I look at this Queen Latifah as an equalizer, again, I just don't believe some 50-year-old overweight black woman is going to be so intimidating to a bunch of white guys. I don't believe some 50-year-old overweight middle-aged black woman is going to be considered threatening and intimidating to a bunch of police officers, FBI guys, and underground types. I just don't believe it because it just comes across as completely forced. It comes across as completely ridiculous, and the whole premise, it just does not work. But you have these woke types in Hollywood who want to, again, talk about on the surface passively how they're about diversity, but participate in passive-aggressive jabs at black people. And they go out here, make these shows talking about how they're doing this to promote so-called diversity, but for all intents and purposes, it's just a bad comedy, and everybody's getting a laugh at someone like Queen Latifah behind the scenes, and sadly, she can't see she's the butt of a joke, similar to what happens with people like Stacey Abrams, who puts herself in a picture with a cape on it. They can't see how, in their efforts to so-called elevate the black woman's image, they are just elevating the black woman's image to make her a court jester and make her the new clown that they laugh at, because that's what they're doing with this Equalizer reboot. They're showing how unequal Hollywood is and how many on the left who talk about tolerance participate in racism behind the scenes, and how they are making new modern day minstrels out of people who black people consider legends, like Queen Latifah, who was an icon in the rap game. They're taking the black woman who promoted black empowerment and turning her into a court jester for their entertainment at her expense. And this is what's going on with this Equalizer reboot. And most black viewers, we need to give this show the boot, because we shouldn't sit there and watch as they take Queen Latifah and make her into a laughingstock. I mean, no, we need to go out here and again support black-owned media like the SJS Direct imprint, which makes efforts to present you with strong action heroines like Isis in the Isis series, or Lilith Graves in Eternal Night, or E-Steam in the E-Steam series. I mean, in the works that I do, I try to present you with strong heroines who are still soft and feminine and still show you the greatness of black beauty while participating in action-packed adventures. I mean, most people want to see a strong heroine, but they don't want to see a heroine made to be a joke. We understand that while women have the strength of character to be a heroine, they also are soft and feminine as well. And men want to see a soft, sexy woman, and they want to see her in a story that has the proper context to show her kicking butt, and kicking butt in a way that is believable and compelling. And this is something I want to see done with black women, and I write about that in my own books like the Isis series and the E-Steam series, and even in books like Eternal Night. And as I see it, black audiences deserve to have better than what Hollywood is offering, because what they're offering us with the Equalizer with Queen Latifah is not the action series featuring a black heroine most people want to see. No, what they're offering us is a comedy where white supremacists in Hollywood get a laugh at a black woman and make a minstrel out of one of our legendary rappers and black actresses. And we shouldn't stand for that at all. And that's why I say this Equalizer reboot is completely unequal, because if Hollywood were really serious about giving us an Equalizer reboot that was worth anything, they would have cast Jim Caviezel as the Equalizer, or somebody like Matthew McConaughey. And those men, while they were in their 50s, are in shape, and they have a strong audience that would follow them, and that Equalizer series would have been something people took seriously, similar to the way they took Denzel Washington's Equalizer movie very seriously. But your CBS, in its attempt to show how woke it is, shows us how broken and twisted their executives are, because they go out here and make this minstrel show in our face and then tell us it's an action movie. And this is just, again, a complete insult to black women. But sadly, many black women are so caught up with getting attention from white media types that they can't see how those white media types are making mockery of them by saying that they're masculine and also having a huge laugh at their expense. And it's just sad that people can't see how this Equalizer reboot is just completely unequal and promotes no diversity, but just promotes the same racism and white supremacy against black women. Now, if you want to pick up some stories that feature attractive black women featured in action-packed stories, you can pick up the books of the ISIS series or the E-Steam series or my book, Eternal Night, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also pick them up on Smashwords, the iBookstore, Barnes & Noble, and Google Play. And if you want to see me be able to make more books like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, and books like Eternal Night, and make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available, paperback and Kindle Unlimited, ISIS, the main event. It's carnage inside of a steel cage when the goddess next door steps in the squared circle with the beast from the boss in this action-packed, all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, the main event, paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.